we're starting the chapter 1.6 on linear inequalities. It should be really familiar. Solving inequalities is almost exactly like solving equations, except watch out for multiplying or dividing by a negative. You must switch the sign, the direction of the inequality. We'll just say switch inequality. Okay, and that's the only reason I'm showing you this first example. It's simpler than any of the work you're going to do. I just want you to have a reference point for this. So in order to solve for x, I have to divide both sides by a -3. And the result I get is 1x, positive 1x, is going to be less than or equal to -7. So if you multiply or divide by a negative, switch the direction of the inequality. Otherwise, it's exactly the same as solving equations. We are also asked to express our answer in interval notation. So this says that x is going to be less than or equal to -7. So our interval notation is going to give us -∞ to -7, including -7, so we use those square brackets. And that looks weird. Let me try that again. So, last note here in the margin is for less than, greater than, or either negative or positive infinity, you will always use a rounded bracket, a parentheses bracket. If you have an equals part, you will use a square bracket. That's how we figure out if the point is included or not. And the reason why infinities always are not included is because infinity is not actually a number. All right. I help myself. Let's box that answer. And also, you know, if these bracketing doesn't make sense, read your textbook. It does a really good job. All right. The reason I'm showing you this example is because when I have negative x's on both sides, I work around it so that my x always winds up positive, because my errors tend to be in forgetting to flip the sign of the inequality. So I try to avoid those errors. Which means I'm going to add 3x to both sides. And I'm going to just save some room here by showing that both those steps at once. Perfectly legal. And when I divide by 10 on both sides, I will get the solution 4/5 is less than x. And I'm not sure. Let me know if you notice it one way or another. Let me know if the XYZ site will allow a correct answer that's not reduced. Just curious. All right. So this means x is greater than positive 4/5, and it does not include 4/5. So round bracket to positive infinity. Okay. The only reason I'm showing you example 3 is to just remind you when you're solving, clearing the fractions is probably your best place to start. There's a lot of fraction work here. If you don't, it will lead to exactly the same answer. So let's skip the fraction work by clearing the fractions. Don't forget, if you're not clearing a fraction, you definitely have to do the multiplication. All right, this works out pretty nice. No, it doesn't. I don't want to take the extra steps to keep my x term positive, so I'm just going to have to remember to flip that inequality when I get to that point. So I get negative 4x is greater than 6. Now I'm going to have to flip it when I divide both sides by a negative, which gives x is less than negative 3/2. Oh, that looks like an arrow. Let me try that again. Okay, so x is less than negative 3/2, so we'll go negative infinity, negative 3/2. And we're done. I will see you on the next video.